Today we've got the first look at the Pixel 11 series, as well as confirmations on the upgrades in every single color. So first up, we finally got the official launch date confirmed. Google is going to be unveiling the Pixel 11 series on the 12th of August, with pre-orders opening as soon as the keynote finishes. The teaser itself also gives us our first proper look at Pixel Glow, and hopefully it's more than just a static LED. In the teaser, we can see it cycling through different colors, confirming that it's RGB, and Google says it's designed to help you stay in the moment without losing touch by using subtle colors and lighting effects for things like notifications in Gemini. Exactly what it can do hasn't been fully revealed yet, but hopefully it's more than just a flashy notification gimmick, because this does have the potential to become one of the Pixel's most unique features. Now, something that definitely isn't a gimmick, however, is today's video sponsor, the Topdon TC002C, a compact thermal imaging camera that plugs directly into your phone and lets you see heat that would otherwise be completely invisible. The setup couldn't really be simpler. You just plug it straight into the USB-C port on your iPhone, Android phone, or even a Windows PC. You open up the top infrared app. Within seconds, you got a live thermal image, and it's amazing what you can actually see. For example, when I'm testing chargers, I can instantly spot where the heat is being generated, compare different charging speeds, or check if one charger is running noticeably hotter than the other. The same goes for smartphones during gaming, fast charging, or benchmarking, where you can actually watch the heat spread across the device in real time, or even just use it to check the heat of my computers. Of course, it's not just for tech either. You could use this to check insulation around your home, look for plumbing issues, identify electrical hotspots, or even just find where your pet decides to hide. Now, despite being so small, it packs a native 256 by 192 thermal sensor, and this is then enhanced using Topdon's TISR technology that produces even sharper thermal images. So there's an impressive amount of detail available, and I've reviewed thermal camera phones in the past, but it's actually so much easier just having it in a compact form, as I only need to take it when I need it, and can use it with pretty much any phone I want, and it's one of those gadgets that you don't realize how useful it is until you start pointing it at everything. Now, of course, for those of you that want to go and check it out, I've placed the link down in the description below, so you can go ahead and grab yours today. Now back to the Pixel 11, and unfortunately, another thing that's getting an upgrade this year is going to be the price. We were already expecting this after the ongoing RAM shortages, but Google has now effectively confirmed it in a recent interview. Google's vice president explained that the Pixel 11 series is going to cost more than the Pixel 10 because component prices have continued to rise, and they can no longer absorb those costs themselves. And while exact pricing wasn't confirmed, as that can still change it before launch, current reports are suggesting that the standard Pixel 11 is going to start around $899, so it's looking like roughly a $100 increase across the whole lineup. Now, we've also had the battery capacities leak, and there's a couple of surprises here. The standard Pixel 11 is expected to get a 4,985 mAh battery. The Pixel 11 Pro is going to be 4,850, and the Pro XL is 5,115 mAh. So while the standard model sees a very small increase, both Pro models actually end up with slightly smaller batteries than before. Now, thankfully though, the differences are tiny. With the new Tensor G6 being much more efficient, real-world battery life should still improve overall. Now, charging is also getting a welcomed upgrade though, and the Pixel 11 Pro is expected to support 45-watt wired charging, up from the predecessor 30. And we're also getting Qi2 magnetic wireless charging. Combine that with the efficiency gains from the Tensor G6, and the Pixel 11 Pro should not only charge faster, but comfortably last longer throughout the day as well. Now, speaking of the Tensor G6, this is one of the biggest hardware upgrades to the Pixels. Google is moving to a 2nm manufacturing process, bringing significant improvements to both performance and efficiency, and we're also getting a brand new 7-core architecture alongside an upgraded GPU. Now, some people were initially disappointed when reports suggested that Google were going to be using the PowerVR CXT481536 GPU, because on paper that looked like the 5-year-old GPU, but thankfully that's not the case. Google is going to be using the much newer CXTP variant, bringing updated features and significantly better performance. Now, as always though, the Tensor isn't about chasing benchmark records. Google's focus has always been on photography, AI, and delivering a smooth day-to-day experience, and everything we've heard so far suggests that the Tensor G6 is continuing that exact same philosophy. Now, next up we have the cameras, and they're also receiving some meaningful upgrades this year. Reports suggest that we're getting a brand new 50 megapixel primary sensor that's been heavily customized for improved light capture and dynamic range. We're also getting an upgraded telephoto camera with improved optical zoom, enhanced AI-assisted zoom, and a brand new ultra-wide sensor as well. But where the Pixel 11 Pro could really stand out is after you've actually taken the photo or video. Google is reportedly expanding AI editing tools much further with video generative ML, and this is where things get really impressive. We're talking about removing objects from a video, repairing noise, enhancing scenes, extending footage, and even changing backgrounds in a video, and it's all going to be directly inside the standard Google Photos app. Now combine that with Google's wider ecosystem across Photos, Gemini, and YouTube, the Pixel 11 Pro is going to feel less like a smartphone and more like a portable content creation studio. Now next up, we've got our first proper look at every single Pixel 11 model and color thanks to OnLeaks and My Mobiles. And as most of you probably already know, OnLeaks has an incredibly reliable track record when it comes to these early design leaks, and at this stage, there's very little reason to doubt what we're seeing. For the standard Pixel 11, we're expecting blue, green, midnight, and pink, likely launching under the names Sterling Light, Moss, Midnight Haze, and Fuchsia. Meanwhile, the Pixel 11 Pro and the Pro XL are expected to arrive in Pine, Fog Light, Midnight Haze, and June, giving us a mixture of green, silver, black, and a subtle beige finish. Now looking at the renders though, it's very clear Google hasn't completely redesigned the Pixel this year. From the front, it looks almost identical to the previous generation, but around the back, there are a few meaningful changes. The camera bar is now completely blacked out with only the outer frame matching the phone color, and that's almost certainly ties into this new Pixel Glow feature. The flash is also moved into the center, while the temperature sensor has disappeared entirely. Now personally, I think that was a sensible decision. It was one of those features that I tried once or twice, then I never used it again, so replacing it with something that could actually be useful day to day feels like a much better use of that space. Now of course, these renders are based on CAD and the renders from OnLeaks, so of course the design itself should be accurate, and the colors have now also been updated using the latest information from OnLeaks, so this is exactly what you can expect from the Pixel 11. So overall, the Pixel 11 is shaping up to be another very Google-style upgrade. The design changes are fairly subtle, but underneath we're getting improvements where they matter most. We're getting a faster and more efficient chipset, upgraded cameras, faster charging, better AI features, and hopefully improved battery life as well. Pixel Glow also has some potential to become one of the most distinctive new features that we've seen on a Pixel lineup in years if it doesn't end up to be a gimmick, and it also gives the lineup a bit more of a stronger identity rather than just feeling like another annual refresh. Now that being said, because the overall design remains pretty similar to the predecessor, I don't think many Pixel 10 owners are going to be rushing for an upgrade, but for anyone with an older Pixel or maybe looking to try out their first Pixel, then I think it could be a very good choice. Now launch is now approaching quickly, so expect plenty more leaks and teasers before we get there, and as always I'm going to be sharing everything as soon as it comes in, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.